go.
Yeah, buddy. What's up, Facebook, family, and friends? Thought I'd do a little bonus episode today. I don't know how many of you will see this live. Probably no one live because you're all busy on a Sunday and all of that. But I thought I would show you the pretty easy way to make crystal clear ice. You need one of these. This is my lunch pail that I use during the week to take my lunch to school. And the secret of creating crystal clear ice for your home bar is what we call directional freezing. So think of places where there are lakes. What happens is the water freezes from the top down. In a traditional ice tray like one of these, and these are the nice ones. These are the the neoprene or whatever you want to call them, the foamy, whatever these are called. These are great for making ice. The problem is they get cloudy because if we're dusting off my former when I used to teach 6th grade science back in the day. First 4 years of my career I taught science, and so oh boy. What happens is the air molecules, because the ice is freezing from all sides, the air molecules that are trapped, they get trapped inside the ice and they get compressed to the middle. That's why ice is cloudy. Okay, so some genius in I think Germany came up with this little method. Obviously, unless you have a crystal clear lake to harvest ice from, this is a really great method. And I've got 2 live friends from back in the day. Thank you for joining me today. This is pretty fun. But Nathan and I did this 2 weeks ago, and I ran out of ice, so I thought we would just show you guys what we did. So all I did was I took my lunch pail and I filled it up to about just shy of an inch of the top of this yesterday afternoon at about this time. You have to freeze it for 24 hours, and obviously you have to create a spot for it. We will not have an entire cooler full of crystal clear ice. I want to make that clear. You will have a pretty fat 2-inch layer, which interestingly enough is about the size of these. So, and that's what I have a bunch of these that I've used on the show in the past. But what I do is once we'll do the cutting and stuff, this is where we put all the squares, okay? So it's really easy to harvest. I took this out, as you may have seen right at the beginning, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it upside down inside the sink, and I'm just going to run some warm water over the top of the bottom of the cooler. And what happens is, because the cooler is insulated, the water doesn't freeze this way because the sides are insulated. The water is insulated, so it only freezes from the top down. So you will not get an entire cooler full of crystal clear ice once again, but what you get is pretty awesome, and it's enough. It's more than enough. It's about about a week and a half, worth of ice. So once you've run your hot water over the top of this, it just pops right out. So here's my now empty cooler, which I'm going to set aside, and this is what you have in the result. I have to pour some of the water out in a minute and show you. So this is what we have, and it kind of, what's trippy is, look at it. I don't know if you can see the top. Oh shit, I'm getting water all over the place. There's some residual water that will be left over, but you can kind of see what you get. So that kind of looks like a frozen lake, and you can kind of see we've got a nice, like whatever it is, about 2.5 inches of crystal clear, beautiful ice, and then this is just bullshit on the side. So one of the first things we need to do is kind of get rid of all that. So I just use this little mallet to get rid of the sort of the shitty parts of the ice. You can use this if you want for like crushed ice, but we have an ice maker, you guys, in our thing. So, and what's really rad about this stuff when you work with it, this is a frozen mass, and it will stay. This will stay this for quite a while, you guys. So I'm gonna put some hot water on my hands, and this will be quite easy to manage while we are dealing with this. A little sip of my Buffalo Trace. That's pretty funny. Well, I got a couple of groupies. All right. Oh, CJ Cornelius. Oh my goodness. How are ya? Oh, so great. Okay, you guys. So what we've done is we've smacked up. We've smacked off the top, and then what I'm going to do is just do some initial. I'm just going to shave off just a little bit of this part here on the back. We just kind of want to. We kind of want to work. We want to bring down the block to a size that is fairly uniform. So what I did last time, I just kind of used this. You have to have a serrated knife. Preferably one that's larger than a steak knife, but just your regular old serrated knife from your drawer. And then I'm just going to put a little teeny weeny bit of cold water on this just to kind of, thin, just even it out so it's gorgeous. See that? So now we have this beautiful block of ice. We're going to sit on our cutting board. Woo! Oh my gosh. Hands get really cold, so it's nice. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to keep the sort of, caca-looking parts of that, if you're really hard up for, crushed ice, by all means save it. But we didn't because it only takes 24 hours, and I don't think that's too wasteful. Now, to create the blocks, what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to just score this little brick here. So I'm going to turn it this way. We're going to take our knife, and what we're going to do is just we're just going to score a line of about the size of the blocks that we want. So if we add a scoring line of about that big, and we put our knife right into the wedge. Use one of these mallets. Don't use an actual hammer. Use like a rubber mallet, and then if you just smack it. Well, I did last time. Shit. Maybe it's Yeah, it worked better last time. Okay. Well, we'll see. You know what? Let me go to the other side. I think it needs to be straight. I think that's the problem. Yeah. If it's not a straight line, that part of the ice was not straight. Okay, let's try that because that worked good last time. Bam. Then it breaks apart into one of those. So the first thing I did is make these little monolith-looking sized cubes. So we'll make a couple of those, and then you just cut them from there. So about another, about another 2 inches. So I guess, yeah, we had to go back to the top side. Okay, so that was my mistake, you guys. You have to score it. This is only the second time I've done this. So you have to go back to the top side that was exposed, because that's going to give you your cleanest cut. And there we go, another monolith. So we'll set down our monolith, and then we're gonna, let's see, yeah, we're gonna put this one in half here. Make a few more there. And you'll laugh when you see the results. It's so pretty. Oh, shit, that one kind of, and it can be a little unpredictable, but look at that. I have this rad looking, glacier looking Titanic kind of piece, and then when you see it like inside a glass, they just look awesome. So cool. There's my for my next barrel-aged Negroni drink. So for this one, I'm gonna start cutting this down into slightly smaller pieces. Score that one. Just score right at the top. Being careful. All right. And then you can do if you want, you can use water to shape them. You can also you can scrape, sort of shape them that way too, which is pretty cool. You can do a number of different things with these if you want. These are some weird shapes, so I think I'm gonna pop these in half right here if I can. It's really shocking how well the pieces sort of they maintain their integrity frozen for quite a while. I mean, you don't want to do this too long because you will start to lose them, but it's pretty crazy how they end up looking and all that. So I'll have to reshape some of these at another time, and you can keep these in the freezer. This one's pretty close. So the guys in Japan, they take this knife and they just sort of shave it and sort of sculpt it, you know. And this is the same way they make ice for ice sculptures. You can just kind of shape it in if if you want to mess with it and turn it into a spear or whatever it is you want. Okay, all right. Just kind of go like that. There's a nice little piece. I got a barrel-aged Negroni that I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. But you know, quite an improvement. We just want to get a few extra pieces. I want to try to get these in my my little squares here while I have a chance. Okay, here, let me go to my these ones. So I have two of these sort of monoliths, and then this is really going to help you get some really good sized cubes for use in old fashions or whatever. So scoring, bam. All right, so that one looks pretty good, as you can see. So I'm going to drop that one. And basically what I do is I populate this thing with basically these size. And these are great. I'm going to show you how well these work in just a second to make legit. I'm going to make you guys a legit old-fashioned in the glass with ice that is harvested, you know, the way they used to back in the day. Look at the size of that bad boy. That's going to be awesome. I think that's the one we're going to use. Let me see. So let me, I want the, I'm actually warming this glass back up. I usually keep my old-fashioned glasses in the freezer, but I'm drying it off and I'm making it not frosty so that you guys can see just how awesome this looks. It's really cool. And let me see if this fits in there. Yeah, that one's just a little big. So let's see, I'm gonna put that guy down. Let's see about that one. Oh yeah, that one's perfect. Okay, so that's the one we're gonna use. Let me take you guys over to the bar and we'll make it old-fashioned. Let me grab my camera. Bring you guys over to the bar. Sorry if you get a little dizzy. So now we're over here. All right, so there's a couple things you can do. This could be great. I've got some a barrel-aged Negroni that you could just fill this up if you want. But I wanted to show you what's really fun with a piece like this is you can make yourself a legit old-fashioned. So sugar cube, we're gonna build this in the glass, drop that in. This is one of my favorite cocktails ever. Angostura bitters, looks like that. You can get these in any store. Yes, correct, Stacy. I just use a silicone tray to store them because I found that, well, like I have a bunch of them in that. I have like a mixing cup that I put them in, but I'm gonna shape them and store them in here because they work way better when I go to make cocktails during the week or on the weekends, and especially for the show. It just keeps them from sticking together, and they're less likely to shatter afterwards. So we've got our sugar cube and our Angostura bitters, and then one other little trick that I learned from the great Sasha Petrosky, rest in peace, may he rest in peace, the founder of the great Milk and Honey bar, is to put a tiny little bit of club soda in there. And that, I mean, this is just one of the most simple cocktails you can ever make, and it's so easy. And basically what I'm doing is I'm kind of making a paste with the Ango and this thing. Oh, it could be, yes. Yeah, so I'm down to the wire. You guys must have been paying attention on Friday. I'm down to the wire, but I'm telling you, this is the size of bottle they have at Smart and Final, you guys. I don't know if you have a Smart and Final, but Total Wine and More, Smart and Final, they sell the big boy. So, and it's a great price. So, and that's the standard bitters. I was talking to a relative of ours earlier today, and he was saying, "Gosh, I'd really like to know more about the bitters thing." So that might be a show. Now, a traditional old-fashioned, we're going to build it in the glass. Look at that beautiful color, all right? Oh my gosh. Yes, CJ, oh my gosh. I have been wanting to come because, take a look at my ancestors, my great-great-great-grandmother, Grandmother Moon, came over from Belfast, Ireland, so I definitely need to come over there and sample some of the great spirits, that you guys have over there. Oh my gosh, I would die and go to heaven. And then with this one, you're gonna want to stir this in the glass, get some dilution. When it's just me, I use my finger, but we'll pretend that this is a classy bar. But there's just something about you know, building it in the glass with that beautiful clear ice that just, you know, it's something about, you know, it's like when you go to a fine restaurant, if you're gonna have a steak dinner and they serve it to you on a trash can lid, it's like, that ain't good, you know, plate it up, everything. So, you know, it's kind of like this whole the geeking out factor of everything that's cool about bartending. It kind of evolves as I go. Let me see if I can, let me get an orange peel for this. Hang on one second. And the traditional garnish for an old fashioned, and you can, if you had orange bitters, you can put that in there too. I know a lot of us, you know, who watch my show are not quite as obsessive about this whole bartending thing than I am. But, you know, as the pandemic kind of does its thing, this is kind of an older orange, so the juice, you know, so look at that. So you've got your crystal clear ice, right? This is like, it's like quality. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad to have an opportunity to share with you this really easy technique to make crystal clear ice. It's worth it. You know, if you're going to go to the trouble to make yourself a good cocktail, I really believe it really pluses up the experience for us, because, you know, the cocktail experience, the art of making it, and it really, you know, we're trying to get back to a more sip and savor instead of just like when we were all in our 20s, just knocking them back just to get wasted. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like totally deal. So cheers, everybody, and we'll see you Friday.